We all know the magical world of Hogwarts, but do we really know what it was like making it? From filming a simple kissing scene to the hilarious pranks on set, the cast and crew of Harry Potter definitely had their fun as well as seriousness when it came to making this fantasy come to life. So keep watching because we're going to show you what Harry Potter really looks like behind the scenes. Number 10. Pranking Daniel Radcliffe. The cast of Harry Potter definitely grew together as a family. Filming for 10 years will do that for sure, and since they were so close with each other, they oftentimes would pull pranks on each other. Now, you would think that Ron might be the one doing the prank, but it was actually Dumbledore and Snape. In the scene where all the students are sleeping in sleeping bags in the hall, Daniel asked the producer if they could place him closer to the girl he liked. So given that, actors Michael Gambon and Alan Rickman decided that that was the perfect time to prank him by putting a farting machine in his bag.
We enter completely our own world, and we like to swim in the deepest waters.
As the scene goes, as the farting machine starts making noises, both Gambon and Rickman can't get through it with a straight face. Number 9. Gary Oldman mentored Radcliffe. While filming The Prisoner of Azkaban, Radcliffe was quite nervous to work with Gary Oldman. Daniel was a huge fan of his work and was even scared to mess up in front of him. But after actually getting to know him, he saw that he was an incredible man and even managed to learn some acting tips from him. Daniel himself even said that because of Oldman, the third and the fifth movie from Harry Potter were the ones where he did his best acting, all thanks to Oldman being by his side. You can truly see their connection on the screen when both of them are side by side, and behind the scenes, they would oftentimes step aside and just talk about movies and acting like real-life Godson and Godfather. Number 8. Helena Bonham Carter playing Hermione. The role of Bellatrix Lestrange has definitely left a mark in everyone that saw the movies. But the part where Hermione, Harry, and Ron take the Polyjuice potion in order to get to Bellatrix's vault was probably the hardest part that Helena had to do.
I hardly think that'll be necessary.
I don't like to be kept waiting.
Very well, Madame Lestrange.
So you have Hermione turning into Bellatrix, and then Helena has to play Hermione as Bellatrix. While it all sounds confusing, to prepare for this part, Helena and Emma worked really close and in the process became even close friends. Helena had to learn the way she walks, acts, and moves her face in order to get the right portrayal of Hermione in the scene. With Helena being the incredible actress she is, she nailed that scene even better than most of the crew expected. Number 7. The kissing scene. Doing a kissing scene in front of a lot of people is definitely hard, and it's harder to do with someone you consider to be a very close friend. When the producers told Emma and Rupert that they will have to do their kissing scene in a week, they were quite shocked.
We're doing the kiss this week between Ron and Hermione.
What?
Doing the kiss between Ron and Hermione in
This week?
in the Chamber of Secrets.
Emma even explained that it would have happened eventually since the movies moved towards the direction of Ron and Hermione ending up together. When the time came to film the scene, both Emma and Rupert couldn't stop laughing and just couldn't get the scene right. The producer even told them to get in the head of their characters and do it the way they would, and that was the encouragement they needed to do the scene without laughing. Number 6. Luna's house. Luna Lovegood is definitely one of the sweetest, most loved characters in the movies.
I've never been to this part of the castle. At least not while awake. I sleepwalk, you see.
And you probably remember the look of her house. The house is shown in the Deathly Hallows for the first time and is quite unusual. In order to give the house the look it deserved, they used the art made by Luna herself or the actress Evanna Lynch. If you look at the inside of the house, you'll notice the colorful walls, and those were based on Evanna's art. To make the entire thing even more convincing, Luna's father was dressed in the same style as her, and once again, Evanna put a little bit of herself onto his outfit to make it all come together, as well as making decisions on Luna's outfits as well. Number 5. Creating Dobby. In these movies, having various fantasy creatures is no news. You'll find anything from giants to unicorns, and although for creating most of this, there were several visual effects as well as CGI used. When it came to creating elves, including the house elf Dobby, CGI just wasn't enough. Even though in the first movies they would make sticks with balls on top of them to get a perception on where the character is, later on they decided that having an actual actor do the scenes would be ideal. The scenes where you can see Dobby were created with actual actors that would stand in the place where Dobby would be, and later on his face and body would be altered with visual effects and CGI, giving him the final look. Number 4. Preparing for the Yule Ball. We all remember the Yule Ball in the Goblet of Fire, but what really went into creating the entire event? Well, like the scene where Professor McGonagall asks Ron to dance with her and to teach him how to dance properly, the same thing happened on set, just with a lot more kids around. They were all simply let loose for most of the scenes, but their dancing routine was quite complicated to learn. Most of them would mess up and even start laughing and giggling during the shot, so it was pretty hard to get the perfect shot. They even had to reshoot the scene where Ron and McGonagall danced quite a few times because Rupert couldn't hold in the laugh.
Never gonna let him forget this, are you? Never.
But in the end, it all worked in their favor. Number 3. Last day of filming. When you're filming this kind of franchise for 10 years and suddenly it comes to the last day of filming, you're going to get emotional. Not only did the entire cast get emotional, but the crew and everyone else that was part of it was feeling like it was the end of the world. The producers, however, made sure that Daniel, Rupert, and Emma had their last day of filming together, and for their last scene, where they go in the future, where the three of them send their kids to Hogwarts, they made sure no one in the cast leaked anything about what they were doing. Their faces were covered until they made it to the set so the paparazzi wouldn't take pictures and end up ruining the ending of the movie. Number 2. The 7 Harrys. When the time comes to protect Harry and multiple people take the Polyjuice Potion in order to look like Harry, it only means one thing for Daniel. He has to play 7 different versions of Harry. This was quite a task to be accomplished, and Daniel spent weeks trying to mimic everyone's movements and facial expressions in order to get it just right. Each scene took a few takes to film it, and he had to stay in a certain position for each character, so it would end up like everyone is standing next to each other. It's quite interesting and funny to see him trying to mimic how everyone else would talk and move while changing their clothes.
Wow, we're identical.
And the entire cast had a blast watching him do that. Number 1. Making the Invisibility Cloak. Making someone invisible is not easy. Well, not if you have access to visual effects and CGI. The entire Invisibility Cloak was a green screen sheet that Daniel would cover himself with, and afterwards they would make it look like he's invisible. But in one scene, the cast just couldn't contain their laughter as they saw Daniel coming out from under the green sheet. In this scene, in order to move Ron's hat and Hermione's hair, they used strings as Daniel is standing behind them covered with the green sheet. You can imagine how 3 kids would have reacted to this scene. Although it took multiple takes to get the scene right, this definitely wasn't the first and last time they would end up in laughter during scenes. On a related note, we wanted to know how many of these behind-the-scenes moments did you already know? Let us know in the comment section below. If you'd like to see more amazing videos such as this one, make sure to like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss any of them. And as always, thanks for watching, guys!